Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm wondering if how others out there surviving this hot weather in Korea right now. We are experiencing really unprecedented hot days. The temperature is really scorching every day, and seems it getting longer and longer, and that the heat wave is getting intense, especially this year in my town in Korea. Actually, ever experienced more than 40 degrees centigrade. As far as I recall, my life back in Korea, last 10 years, I haven't experienced this hot summer, at least during last 10 years, right? What happened is my business really sucks, especially this season, right? I mean, I don't blame that seasonality things of my business. And anyway, it happens all every summer this time of year, like July and August, especially for 2 months time. My whole business really off. But myself, I'm quite accustomed to this kind of seasonality. So compared to other business owners in my field, I'm pretty much well trained how to weather the season and this slow season, right? And but this year, especially, I'm thinking like all the conditions for business and like physical environment, right? Because of the hot temperature getting worse. I think it happened actually worse and worse every summer I've been through, and then seems it doesn't get any better, I believe, even in the future. So I have to be more well prepared to go over this off season. And anyway, I cannot blame these kind of things, right? I mean, anyway, I cannot control, right? It's about nature things, and that's the things all business owners, including my area and other area also, have to overcome, right? So I cannot complain. But one thing for sure is since it's getting worse and worse, definitely every year, I have to be more well prepared in advance before the slow season start. I have to complete all the preemptive preparation to weather the season in terms of business, in terms of my sentiment, and the things recently I'm thinking over is like because of my age, turning mid 50, and then I'm getting more close to the next chapter of my life, which is more slow. Nowadays, during the intense heat wave, I was kind of very, I become very languid and become very slack, and I didn't have much like will to stand up and like move myself busy for things, right? Became pretty much like sit back and like just getting kind of slack, very laggard, and I don't have much will to walk around, right? It happened very naturally because, I mean, my body condition and my sentiment, everything gets me down pretty much. It happened actually naturally, and so this summer I'm taking more like time to rest myself, and I don't want to push myself so hard, and I put myself in a kind of very slow mode, just sitting back and leaning down, just taking some time to rest myself physically and mentally, both ways, and think about things for the future. And then one thing I realized was I'm much less energetic compared to the earlier days. I mean, more young days, right? Definitely, I find myself kind of aged and much less energetic. And the thing in the past, one thing for sure was even though I was very tired, I was very exhausted with my current work, current business, right? But I all the time quite stayed focused on certain issue, certain goal, right? Business wise, and always trying to improve my work environment here. But especially this year, what I'm feeling is I don't have that much strong will to move forward and thinking about something for my future in terms of business, in terms of my personal future plan, right? And then I was thinking about it, how come I'm so slack and I'm so slow, like to get grip of some certain idea or certain plan firmly, right? Because I believe things changing so fast, even to the level we cannot wrap it around our head, and all the things evolving right now in the world, actually I cannot catch up. That's very honest my feeling. I mean, a lot of things happening right now. I cannot catch up. Maybe it's because the technology moves so fast, not as to keep pace with it. And there are so many uncertainty. And then I don't really understand what is really happening behind the curtain regarding all the economic situation, like in the financial market and like stock trading, and then all the business forecast, right? Small scale, big scale. Everything happens so fast and changes so fast, and then seems it's kind of being manipulated in the way for ordinary people like me cannot fully understand. Although how much I try to keep pace with it with the change, eventually I found myself just so much behind of the things really happening. So I just kind of step back and just don't move until I can get clear idea about the things, but in a way, I'm becoming pretty skeptical about the fact I can even understand fully about the changes being manipulated by some hidden hand. It makes me pretty frustrated. It makes me hesitate to make any kind of move. In my young days, I'm the kind of person, so-called go-getter. If there's something I can get and become my advantage, my benefit, I would try to go get it, make very hard effort to at least get near to the things, right? Of course, sometimes I made it, sometimes I didn't. But whatever the case it was, more often than not, I could reach within the close reach to the target. But these days, I'm doubting if that move is really meaningful because the more I try to understand, the more I made effort to get near, I found myself the more I confused, the more I get frustrated because of the uncertainty about that target. Right? So nowadays, I'm trying to keep some distance from that thought and trying to take more time to observe the way it develops. What I'm feeling this year right now is the time for the monitoring is getting longer and longer because the more I observe, the more I get confused, the more I became uncertain. That is the problem actually I have right now. So in that respect, I'm kind of pretty down with my sentiment because I'm not pretty used to myself being doubtful, being skeptical about my future, right? Anyway, one thing I have to make sure is find some way to stay calm and to pull myself together in a clear mode with my thinking. Just wait until I become confident with myself for the things I'm looking for. Given my own personality, my own nature, it is kind of bit hard. It's not easy job, but these days I have strong feeling that I have to. Is not the world you make quick move, too much uncertainty, and nothing guarantee anything, even in the very near future. Anything can happen. So I have to be very discreet and careful. That is my task